This episode of the Cinema Gold Show is powered by Poddex. Poddex are unique interview questions and episode starting prompts in the palm of your hand. So whether you're a new podcaster or existing broadcaster looking to grow your audience or get more engagement, you're going to want to check out poddex.com. Use code Larry21 for 10% off your first order. That's code Larry21, Larry 21 for 10% off your first order.
Welcome to the Cinema Gold Show with your host, Larry Leese. From the small screen to the big screen, we cover all the latest entertainment news. Join us on your favorite podcast platform or on YouTube every weekday.
Welcome to the Cinema Gold Show. I'm your host, Larry Leese. Today we're discussing, will streaming replace cable? COVID has changed many industries and changed how we used to look at things. Most of the businesses have adapted according to circumstances and transformed how they used to work. And so have we as consumers. There's one particular industry that has been booming since COVID, and that industry is the streaming services like Netflix, Amazon, Disney+, YouTube TV, Hulu. These emerging streaming services have brought the cable connection to the verge of extinction. In today's episode, we're addressing this topic, and we're going to see if it's possible for streaming services to completely replace the cable networks. But first, we're going to dive into the difference between streaming versus cable. It's important to know the differences between cable networks and streaming services. What are the advantages and disadvantages, and what people think about both platforms? When it comes to choosing between video services, you'll most likely have to choose between cable television and numerous streaming options. While both cable TV and video streaming services deliver the same outcome of entertainment on your screen, the methods by which they accomplish this are vastly different. Cable companies have long-standing ties with content producers and broadcast video content on their dedicated networks. This system underpins the paid television industry, and the product you receive reflects that. Cable television is usually more dependable and offers more content, but it comes at quite a literal expense. Streaming services, on the other hand, are relatively new to the video business and are not subject to the same regulations. They can provide services across the U.S. or even globally, and you can utilize them on a variety of devices. They aren't reliant on old infrastructure, which is both a benefit and a drawback. They have the ability to deliver through any internet connection, but they are fully reliant on it and have no control over its quality. They usually have lower cost plans, but they have fewer channels. Let's get right to the point. When it comes to content, cable still has the upper hand over most streaming providers. Their channel lineup typically runs in the hundreds, with the majority of the variant channels for networks like sports. But this is also why cable costs so much. Their capacity to deliver you programming is predicated on package arrangements with larger content networks. And while these may be less expensive per channel, you won't be able to pick and choose. Streaming services, on the other hand, have a smaller number of channels altogether. They will, however, almost certainly include all the major channels that the majority of viewers will want. The big four networks, for example, will all be there, as will popular cable stations. Unless you'll watch a lot of channels or have something specific on your must-have list, most streaming services will contain what you're looking for. By far, the competition might be looking very similar, but it seems like the streaming services are winning the long run as they are improving their quality day by day and adding more content as the days go on. According to a recent study, 83% of American families have cable, with the average monthly cable price $100, up 40% in the last 5 years. However, an increasing number of people are choosing to cut the cord. I've done some research and gathered some stats to help you guys better understand the situation. According to the study, subscribers are increasingly finding it more convenient to watch their favorite shows on the internet. More than 40% of households have a membership to a video streaming service. Me personally, I'm subscribed to way too many. Paramount Plus, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, HBO Max, and several others that I forget to mention. According to a similar survey, this proportion is actually 42%. According to the report, 56% of those polled prefer to watch movies online, contrasting with the 45% who prefer to watch live television. Also, respondents aged 14 to 25 said internet video services were more valuable than television, with 72% saying the streaming video was one of the most valuable services. Older age groups, on the other hand, continue to choose paid channels, with 80% of those aged 32 to 48 preferring paid channels. But let's look at the reasons for the fall in cable TV viewers. The main reason being increased subscription fees, selective bundling packages, and network disputes are reasons why customers are turning away from cable and satellite TV. Consumers are incensed, and cable and satellite TV providers are to blame. As a result, an increasing number of consumers are looking for a low-cost option. However, the decline does not always imply termination in all manifestations. Several cable operators in the US and Europe are attempting to reach agreements with OTT providers in order to combine internet programming with cable set-top boxes. And now, reasons for video streaming popularity, as well as benefits of streaming services. Streaming services have quite some benefits over the cable network. And here, I provide a few of those benefits. It's far too tempting to have the ability to watch your favorite shows on demand on any device with an experience tailored to your preferences. The internet is expanding faster than you can blink, and it's getting increasingly reliable. Smart TVs and adapters are also becoming more popular, with more consumers opting for them. The quality of internet TV apps are constantly updated, and advancements are made at a faster rate, ensuring that users have an incredible video experience. Discovery. As more networks, studios, and other entertainment organizations launch streaming video services like Disney Plus, HBO Max, Discovery Plus, and others, it will become more necessary to assist viewers in finding and watching what interests them. Amazon recently changed its Fire TV user interface. One of the primary priorities was to make it easier for users to sort through the content on their devices in a more straightforward and discoverable manner. Dynamic Row, for example, is a feature in the Fire TV user interface that helps make recommendations more personalized. These little features might not look like a game changer, but these little things add up to the experience. And finally, value. Whether you've already cut the cord or are considering it, one of the most compelling reasons to turn to streaming is the cost savings. Signing contracts with cable companies binds you to their packages, which may or may not include stuff you would never watch or that does not match your preferences. You have the option to choose which services, apps, and content you want on your streaming device for the same price as cable, or even less. Customers are switching to streaming services for a variety of reasons, including cost and flexibility. And finally, you might be thinking that you haven't gotten your answer yet, whether streaming is going to replace the cable or not. Well, the answer is yes and no. Both platforms have their own advantages and disadvantages, and at the moment, it's also almost impossible for streaming to replace the cable. But I personally do think the future is cordless, and streaming services are going to take over the entertainment industry. But at the moment, it's just your personal preference what you go for. And with that, today's episode comes to an end. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe to the podcast. Find us on YouTube, search The Cinema Gold Show. Send us a tweet at Cinema Gold Show and let us know your thoughts on this topic. We'll see you next time on The Cinema Gold Show.
Thank you for watching the Cinema Gold Show. If you liked what you heard, subscribe to our podcast on all major platforms. Follow us on Twitter at Cinema Gold Show. And like us on Instagram at The Cinema Gold Show. Support the show by buying us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/cinemagold. As always, thank you for listening.